So what we know, Dan, is that the latest polling shows that there's only 1 in 5 who disagrees with supporting the DREAM Act. Every single poll basically shows at least 65, 70, 75% of Americans believe that something needs to be done in terms of the young people who came without, they were brought by their parents. But Dan, I actually need to push the envelope. DACA, or the DREAM Act. So DACA is an executive order because the DREAM Act did not pass in Congress, right? Two different things. One is a temporary thing. One would actually be a vote by Congress to make it into law.
But what we have is an executive order by President Obama.
Correct. That is DACA. And that is now, the fate of that is unsure, right? So I'm going to push the envelope, Dan, because I, as a journalist who engages a lot with this community and as a professor who has a lot of students who are either DACA themselves or undocumented or whose parents are, what we really need to do, Dan, is we need to be honest. Okay, we need to look at our country and be honest, and we need to say everything that has been proposed up until now has been quite disastrous, that in fact the one president who seemed to have gotten on the right path was the Republican, Ronald Reagan. Okay, 1986, right. Immigration Reform and Control Act. A Republican, I underscore that, who basically said, we need to be more realistic about what's happening in our country. So that's what I'm saying. Let's take the blinders off. Let's get away from Steve Bannon's fear-mongering and Steve Bannon's intent to create an America that does not exist, which is an America that has no relationship to immigrants. You don't get to decide that, Steve Bannon. I'm sorry. You don't get to decide